What is drug repurposing? A. Developing a new drug from scratch. B. Using an existing drug for a new medical purpose. C. Combining multiple drugs to enhance efficacy. D. Withdrawing a drug from the market. The correct answer is B. Drug repurposing, also known as drug repositioning, refers to the process of using an existing drug for a new medical purpose. Which of the following is not a common drug repurposing strategy? A. High throughput screening. B. Drug rebranding. C. Bioinformatic analysis. D. Clinical observation. The correct answer is B. Drug rebranding is not a common drug repurposing strategy. What is high throughput screening in the context of drug repurposing? A. Developing drugs with slow release mechanisms. B. Testing thousands of existing drugs for new uses in a rapid manner. C. Creating drugs with fewer side effects. D. Combining multiple drugs to enhance efficacy. The correct answer is B. High throughput screening involves testing thousands of existing drugs for new uses, rapidly. Which of the following is an advantage of drug repurposing? A. High cost of development. B. Longer time to reach the market. C. Lower risk compared to developing new drugs. D. Limited potential for new indications. The correct answer is C. One of the advantages of drug repurposing is the lower risk compared to developing new drugs. What role does bioinformatic analysis play in drug repurposing? A. Testing drugs on animal models. B. Analyzing biological data to identify new drug targets. C. Developing new drug formulations. D. Conducting clinical trials. The correct answer is B. Bioinformatic analysis is used to analyze biological data and identify new drug targets for drug repurposing. Which of the following is an example of a successfully repurposed drug? A. Aspirin for pain relief. B. Ibuprofen for lowering cholesterol. C. Paracetamol for bacterial infections. D. Cetirizine for diabetes. The correct answer is A. Aspirin is an example of a successfully repurposed drug, originally used as a pain reliever, and now used for various other medical purposes. What is the term used for repurposing a drug already approved for one condition to treat a different one? A. Drug extension. B. Drug rebranding. C. Drug repurposing. D. Drug restructuring. The correct answer is C. The process of using a drug approved for one indication to treat a different condition is called drug repurposing. What does the term off-label use mean when we talk about drug repurposing? A. Using a drug for a condition it's not approved to treat. B. Using a drug off the pharmacy counter. C. Using a generic version of the drug. D. Using a drug produced by a different manufacturer. The correct answer is A. Off-label use means using a drug for something it's not approved to treat. How can drug repurposing contribute to reducing healthcare costs? A. By increasing the cost of prescription medications. B. By reducing the need for expensive clinical trials. C. By requiring additional drug manufacturing processes. D. By increasing the number of new drug developments. The correct answer is B. Drug repurposing can help reduce healthcare costs by minimizing the need for expensive clinical trials. Which of the following is a challenge in drug repurposing strategies? A. Limited availability of existing drugs. B. Lack of scientific data on drug safety. C. Easy identification of new drug targets. D. Quick regulatory approval process. The correct answer is B. One of the challenges in drug repurposing strategies is the lack of sufficient scientific data on the safety of repurposed drugs. What is a common drug repurposing strategy that investigates how known drugs affect different cell types or targets? A. High throughput screening. B. Bioinformatic analysis. C. Clinical trials. D. Structural biology. The correct answer is A. High throughput screening is a common drug repurposing strategy. It allows for the quick testing of many drugs on various targets. What is an in silico approach commonly used in drug repurposing that involves analyzing large datasets to identify potential drug candidates for new indications? A. Experimental screening. B. Bioinformatic analysis. C. Structural biology. D. Pharmacokinetics study. The correct answer is B. Bioinformatic analysis is an essential tool in drug repurposing. It can help identify potential candidates based on existing data. Which of the following statements is true regarding the advantage of drug repurposing compared to de novo drug discovery? A. Drug repurposing always leads to more potent drugs. B. Drug repurposing is faster and less costly than de novo drug discovery. C. Drug repurposing eliminates the need for clinical trials. D. Drug repurposing always leads to fewer side effects. The correct answer is B. One advantage of drug repurposing is that it's generally faster and more cost-effective than starting from scratch with de novo drug discovery. What's an example of a drug successfully repurposed from treating erectile dysfunction to treating pulmonary arterial hypertension? A. Sildenafil, also known as Viagra. B. Omeprazole, also known as Prilosec. C. Lisinopril, also known as Zestrel. D. Metformin, also known as glucophage. The correct answer is A. Sildenafil, commonly known as Viagra, is an example of a successfully repurposed drug for pulmonary arterial hypertension. What term describes repurposing an approved drug for a new condition? A. De novo drug discovery. B. Biologics licensing. C. Drug repositioning. D. First in human study. The correct answer is C. Drug repositioning refers to the process of finding new uses for existing drugs already approved for a different indication. In the context of drug repurposing, what does the term off-label use refer to? Using a drug in a way not approved by regulatory authorities. Conducting clinical trials for a new drug. Obtaining orphan drug designation. Developing a drug for a rare disease. The correct answer is A. Off-label use means using a medication in a way not approved by regulators, often for a different reason or type of patient. How can drug repurposing help reduce healthcare costs? A. By increasing the cost of drug production. B. By eliminating the need for clinical trials. C. By creating more expensive medications. D. By speeding up the drug approval process for new indications. The correct answer is D. Drug repurposing can lead to faster approval processes for new indications, potentially reducing costs associated with drug development and clinical trials. What term describes drug repurposing strategies using protein 3D structures to find drug interactions? A. High throughput screening. B. Bioinformatic analysis. C. Structural biology. D. Pharmacovigilance study. The correct answer is C. Structural biology plays a role in drug repurposing by analyzing protein structures to understand drug interactions and potential repurposing opportunities. What is one of the common drug repurposing strategies that involves investigating the effects of known drugs on different cell types or targets? A. Phenotypic screening. B. Virtual screening. C. Fragment-based screening. D. Structure-activity relationship analysis. The correct answer is A. Phenotypic screening is a common drug repurposing strategy. It involves testing known drugs for their effects on different cell types or targets. This is done regardless of their known mechanism of action. In the context of drug repurposing, what is the term used to describe repurposing an already approved drug for a different condition? A. Rebranding. B. Relabeling. C. Repositioning. D. Reformulating. The correct answer is C. Repositioning is the term used to describe the process of repurposing a drug already approved for one indication to treat a different condition in the context of drug repurposing. How can drug repurposing help reduce healthcare costs? A. By eliminating the need for clinical trials. B. By lowering production costs. C. By shortening the drug development timeline. D. By reducing the risk of adverse effects. The correct answer is C. Drug repurposing can help reduce healthcare costs. It shortens the drug development timeline. Repurposed drugs have already undergone initial testing and safety assessments. What's an example of a drug successfully repurposed from treating erectile dysfunction to treating pulmonary arterial hypertension? A. Sildenafil. B. Ibuprofen. C. Metformin. D. Warfarin. The correct answer is A. Sildenafil is an example of a successfully repurposed drug. It was originally developed to treat erectile dysfunction, but is now commonly used to treat pulmonary arterial hypertension. What term describes drug repurposing strategies analyzing a known drug's effects on different cells or targets, regardless of its mechanism? A. Phenotypic screening. B. Fragment-based drug design. C. Docking studies. D. Lead optimization. The correct answer is A. Phenotypic screening is commonly used to describe drug repurposing strategies that involve testing known drugs on different cell types or targets based on observed effects. What is an advantage of drug repurposing compared to de novo drug discovery? A. Higher success rate in clinical trials. B. Lower research and development costs. C. Stronger patent protection. D. Faster regulatory approval process. The correct answer is B. Lower research and development costs are an advantage of drug repurposing compared to de novo drug discovery. Repurposed drugs have already undergone some level of testing, reducing the required investments. What is drug repurposing known as in the pharmaceutical industry? A. Drug repositioning. B. New drug development. C. Medication recycling. D. Pharmaceutical reallocation. The correct answer is A. Drug repurposing is commonly referred to as drug repositioning in the pharmaceutical industry. Which of the following is a common in silico approach used in drug repurposing strategies? A. High throughput screening. B. Bioinformatic analysis. C. Proteomics analysis. D. Computational modeling. The correct answer is B. Bioinformatic analysis is a commonly used in silico approach in drug repurposing to identify potential drug candidates for new indications. Why is drug repurposing advantageous compared to de novo drug discovery? A. Faster development timelines. B. Lower development costs. C. Reduced risk of failure. D. All of the above. The correct answer is D. One advantage of drug repurposing is that it offers faster development timelines, lower development costs, and reduced risk of failure compared to de novo drug discovery. In drug repurposing, what terms commonly used to describe strategies investigating known drugs on different cell types or targets, regardless of their known mechanism of action? A. Target-based repurposing. B. Phenotypic screening. C. Omics analysis. D. Cheminformatics. The correct answer is B. Phenotypic screening is a common drug repurposing strategy. It involves investigating the effects of known drugs on different cell types or targets, regardless of their known mechanism of action. What's an example of a drug successfully repurposed from treating erectile dysfunction to treating pulmonary arterial hypertension? A. Sildenafil, also known as Viagra. B. Omeprazole, also known as Prilosec. C. Lisinopril, also known as Zestral. D. Atorvastatin, also known as Lipitor. The correct answer is A. Sildenafil, also known as Viagra, is a great example of a successfully repurposed drug. Originally developed to treat erectile dysfunction, it's now commonly used to treat pulmonary arterial hypertension. How can drug repurposing help reduce healthcare costs? A. By skipping clinical trials. B. By leveraging existing safety data. C. By increasing prescription prices. D. By limiting patient access to new drugs. The correct answer is B. Drug repurposing can help reduce healthcare costs. It does this by using existing safety data. This leads to faster and cheaper drug development. Which term describes drug repurposing strategies using 3D protein structures to find potential drug interactions? A. Pharmacophore modeling. B. Pharmacokinetic analysis. C. Phenotypic screening. D. Pathway enrichment analysis. The correct answer is A. Pharmacophore modeling describes drug repurposing strategies. These involve analyzing three-dimensional protein structures to find potential drug interactions. What is the limitation of drug repurposing strategies that may impact the success rate of finding new indications for existing drugs? A. High development costs. B. Decreased regulatory approval. C. Limited diversity of existing drugs. D. Longer development timelines. The correct answer is C. A limitation of drug repurposing strategies is the limited diversity of existing drugs. This may impact the success rate of finding new indications for existing drugs. In the context of drug repurposing, what does off-label use refer to? A. Using drugs beyond their expiration date. B. Using drugs for unapproved indications. C. Using drugs without a prescription. D. Using counterfeit drugs. The correct answer is B. In drug repurposing, off-label use refers to using drugs for unapproved indications. This is a common practice in exploring new therapeutic uses for existing medications. In the context of drug repurposing, what does off-label use refer to? A. Using drugs on animals for testing. B. Using drugs for unauthorized indications. C. Using expired drugs. D. Using drugs without a prescription. The correct answer is B. Off-label use, in drug repurposing, refers to using drugs for indications not approved by regulatory authorities. How can drug repurposing help reduce healthcare costs? A. By increasing drug prices for repurposed indications. B. By reducing the need for extensive clinical trials. C. By limiting access to repurposed drugs. D. By promoting brand name drugs over generic alternatives. The correct answer is B. Drug repurposing can help reduce healthcare costs by eliminating the need for extensive clinical trials, saving time and resources. Which of the following is a challenge in drug repurposing strategies that may limit the success of finding new indications for existing drugs? A. Lack of existing drug databases. B. Limited understanding of drug mechanisms. C. High cost of repurposing research. D. Unavailability of research funding. The correct answer is B. Limited understanding of drug mechanisms can hinder the success of finding new indications for existing drugs through repurposing strategies. What is an advantage of drug repurposing compared to de novo drug discovery? A. Higher cost of development. B. Faster time to market. C. Lower success rates in clinical trials. D. Limited access to patented drugs. The correct answer is B. Drug repurposing typically has a faster time to market compared to de novo drug discovery, reducing development time and costs. What is a common in silico approach used in drug repurposing strategies? A. Drug-drug interaction prediction. B. Gene expression profiling. C. Protein crystallization. D. Computational docking studies. The correct answer is D. Computational docking studies are a common in silico approach in drug repurposing to predict drug interactions and potential new indications. Why is drug repurposing advantageous compared to discovering new drugs? A. Higher innovation potential. B. Lower risk of regulatory approval. C. Reduced development costs and timelines. D. Greater market exclusivity. The correct answer is C. Drug repurposing offers reduced development costs and timelines compared to developing new drugs from scratch. This makes it a cost-effective strategy for finding new drug uses. In drug repurposing, what terms commonly used to describe strategies investigating known drugs on different cell types or targets, regardless of their known mechanism of action? A. Target identification. B. Mechanism deconstruction. C. Phenotypic screening. D. Drug repositioning. The correct answer is C. Phenotypic screening is a common drug repurposing strategy. Drugs are tested on different cells or targets based on observed effects, disregarding known mechanisms. What is one of the key advantages of drug repurposing compared to de novo drug discovery? A. Increased costs. B. Higher failure rates. C. Faster development timelines. D. Limited drug options. The correct answer is C. Drug repurposing can offer faster development timelines compared to de novo drug discovery, as existing drugs already have known safety profiles and pharmacokinetics. Which term describes drug repurposing strategies analyzing a drug's effects on different cell types or targets, ignoring its known mechanism? A. Polypharmacology. B. Targeted therapy. C. Personalized medicine. D. Precision medicine. The correct answer is A. Polypharmacology is the term used to describe drug repurposing strategies where the effects of known drugs on various cell types or targets are investigated, regardless of their known mechanism of action. How can drug repurposing contribute to reducing healthcare costs? A. By increasing drug development costs. B. By requiring extensive clinical trials. C. By repurposing existing approved drugs. D. By limiting treatment options. The correct answer is C. Drug repurposing can help reduce healthcare costs. It does this by repurposing existing, approved drugs. This saves time and resources compared to developing new drugs from scratch. What is a common in silico approach used in drug repurposing strategies? A. High throughput screening. B. Polypharmacology. C. Pharmacokinetics modeling. D. Data mining and bioinformatics. The correct answer is D. Data mining and bioinformatics are commonly used in silico approaches in drug repurposing strategies to identify potential drug candidates for new indications. Which of the following is a challenge in drug repurposing strategies that may limit the success of finding new indications for existing drugs? A. Limited drug options. B. Rapid development timelines. C. High failure rates. D. Lack of regulatory support. The correct answer is A. Limited drug options can be a challenge in drug repurposing strategies, as not all existing drugs may be suitable candidates for repurposing to treat new indications.